Today's inspiration is from a book called Voices of Insight. And this book has different insight meditation teachers sharing different stories and ideas and thoughts. And today is an excerpt from what Sylvia Boorstein shared. And this portion is called Nothing is Worth Thinking About. And she goes on and she says, my first 5 years of meditation practice were pleasant, albeit unremarkable. I liked going away on retreat. I liked sitting quietly. I liked the food. I enjoyed hearing stories about the Buddha. I loved the idea that it was possible to live peacefully, regardless of the particular circumstances of one's life. Although I certainly passed the time at retreats following the schedule, sitting, walking, sitting, walking, my attention was all over the place. I believe in retrospect that I probably thought about more stories and more fantasies on retreat than off. At home, I had lots of tasks, busy work for the attention. On retreat, my mind was free to spin endless stories, and it did. One day I was walking along a path, most likely telling myself yet another story. My teacher, Joseph Goldstein, was coming toward me, engaged in conversation with another person. I didn't hear the whole conversation or even the sentence that preceded Joseph's remark. But just as they passed by me, I heard Joseph say, listen, nothing is worth thinking about. Nothing is worth thinking about? I was stunned. I had spent my whole life thinking about everything. I come from a long line of heavy thinkers. I pride myself on my thinking. I also knew that Joseph was a pretty good thinker himself. How could he say that? Somehow, by grace perhaps, or just because the necessary conditions had been met for me to get it, I got it. If the point of practice is to experience in this moment, as in every moment, the truth of arising and passing away, the truth of eternal change, I need to be here now to realize it. Stories are always mind elaborations on the mythic past or the hypothetical future. I took a vow not to tell myself stories, not forever, but for the period of time I was on retreat, practicing. It wasn't a vow against all thinking because cognitions, moving, stepping, hungry, tired, are thoughts too. It was a vow about discursive thinking, which is what stories are. As soon as I took the vow, my meditative experience changed dramatically. I determined that my attention, when I sat, would not move from the breath. The initial minutes of resolve, perhaps the initial hours of resolve, were difficult. Very soon, however, I found I could relax. It wasn't that I humbled the attention into submission. What happened was that the breath became interesting. In fact, fascinating. Even, can you believe it, thrilling. That's when my serious practice began. Years later, I told Joseph the story of his overheard remark and how it had transformed my practice. He said, maybe I didn't mean nothing is worth thinking about. Maybe I meant nothing is worth thinking about. So there we go. There's our inspiration from Sylvia Boorstein, as suggested by something she overheard by Joseph Goldstein. So may you take that into your practice today.